welcome back to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I am back with another video. Welcome back, you guys. If you are a Just Reader, thank you so much. I'm super excited to have you. Be sure to like, of course, you guys always do, and meet me in the comments. If you are new here, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. My name is Just Read VI and I am a book reader, influencer, and now a professional reader. So I've always loved reading and sharing my thoughts. I love doing this. I last year did a 100 book challenge. This year I am doing a 50 book challenge, which I think I can pass this soon. I'm probably going to make it to around 75 books. Not really pushing it hard, but when books come out, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I have to read, especially certain authors. Like, I'm over the moon excited. So now I'm considered a professional reader because I have been receiving books from publishing companies to read and give reviews on these books. So I'm on NetGalley. You can check me out there. If you're a publishing company and you've sent me books, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And if you're not, you can check me out there. I do have my links, and I'll have links below as well. So my first copy that I received, I was so excited because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get approved for this book, or they're going to send me this book, because it's JC Lee and she's amazing. So her book, Booked on a Feeling, is releasing in June. And I was given that book, so to review. So you get a certain amount of days, and then to read and review the book, and then they kind of, I guess, they take it back. I don't really know how it works. It had my time. My review period hasn't passed as yet, so we'll see how it all works out. But I'm really, really excited about that. So tell me congrats in the comments. This is just a huge deal. Because I've gotten so far so many good books, especially by authors that I love. That's the most exciting part, when it's authors that you're going to read anyways, to not have to pay for those books. Obviously I love supporting the authors, but to not have to pay for those books, and to even just to get to read them early is just so, like, it's huge. So really excited about that. So yeah. But now, enough of that. Let's get into the video, because I've read a few books. I didn't even realize I read 9 books this month. I read a total of 9 books, starting with Empty Vows. The reason why Empty Vows is in April is because it came out literally like the 29th of March. So that was no time to be able to put that into my March recap. So here it is in April. But this book was such a letdown. It's part 2. Oh, I'll show you it. And also, I'm not sure if I'm sure I put the JC Lee book up, but yeah. So you can see what it looks like. Super excited about that read. I'm about to start it today, since I just closed out my last April read. Anyways, Empty Vows by Mary Monroe. This book was a huge letdown. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which is definitely like far from her best. Like, I never had to do that for a book from her, because she's such an exceptional author. But this book just didn't do it for me. I don't know what was going on, but it just wasn't enough. It focused too much on him being gay. Him and Jesse getting together, which is the best friend of Mrs. Wiggins that we met in the first book, Mrs. Wiggins. And how she would like murder everybody. Giving you guys a little recap, she was just super like into her son, into just keeping everybody that she felt was harmful to him, whether he loved them or not. She was just like, no, he's off limits. So she did some crazy things in that book. She even tried to murder her husband, but her son, that's how her son died. He ended up eating her stew, and her son died. So her husband now is not really trying to find another wife. His parents are for him. The neighbor is like, really, since everybody wants to be with him, her best friend Jessie is really trying to push herself on him, because she's like, okay, he's such a good guy. Like, I need to be the one he gonna marry if he gonna marry anybody else. So basically, that's what she kind of forces his hand, ending up with him by lying and saying like he forced himself on her and she get pregnant, and it was this whole thing. That was really more the highlights of the book, because other than that, I did not enjoy this book. It was sad, but I really enjoyed there was a murder mystery with a man killing women, black women. But other than that, there really wasn't much to this book that did anything for me. So this book was 3 out of 5 stars. Got 3 out of 5 stars, and this is book number 16 for me. Next was What Happens on Vacation by Brenda Jackson. Now you notice Brenda Jackson is my fave. Like, she is a fave of mine. I love her so much. I feel like we home girls. I told you guys already. She gonna deliver each and every time. This story of Jessup and Paige was just so phenomenal. How it started was, Paige went through an embarrassing breakup with her boyfriend, who was an actor, and he just wasn't any good. But her sister spoke too soon and said, "Oh, she moved on and she have somebody else." So she's like, "Wait, what? So now, who's this somebody else? And how am I supposed to pretend like I into somebody, much less in a full blown relationship?" So she ends up getting with Jessup, and he's super happy for the job. He's like, "What if that somebody was me?" And I was like, "Okay, Jessup." So they end up kind of falling in love in that whole faking it stage. It was just so beautiful. Like, with Brenda Jackson, it's just so much romance, so much love. You just cannot put these books down. I just love her books. Like, favorite author. So can everybody read this book? Absolutely, definitely for the hopeless romantics, and as usual, 5 out of 5 stars. Like, nothing less. Next is The Marriage Past by Brianna Nicole. So this book it blew me away. It had so much drama, so much going on in it. Like, oh my gosh, this book was a lot. Oh man, I kept seeing it, hearing about it, like people writing certain stuff. This book is crazy, doing like, and from the cover of the book, you can't tell that this is what's good. You can't tell, but by the title of the book, The Marriage Past, you already know in your head, like, what gonna happen in this book? What is going to happen? What is the marriage past? Tell me, I need to know. So, this newlywed couple, I'm gonna say newlywed because they were married for a year, which I think this is the dumbest thing you could ever do in a marriage. Whether it's a year or 50 years, I would never do this. But that's just me. So for their anniversary, his wife, and I'll tell you why, because his wife was so sneaky and low down. So for their 1 year anniversary, she decided to give him with a pass, and both of them don't get his pass, but he decided to use his pass with her sister. That's so low down and dirty, right? The catch is, to the end of the book, sorry, this is a spoiler alert. To the end of the book, her and her sister had planned this the whole time. I was just blown away. I was like, why would you do this? Like, take out your money, because, yeah, it was a lot going on. And her sister had this role of being crazy, but she wasn't crazy. Cutting wrists, pretending that he beat her up and raped her. Like, it was a lot in this book, especially winding on to the end. I was like, how you fit all of this in this book? My first read from Brianna Cole, definitely not my last, because when I tell you, wow, I just was like, why reading? Like, what is going on right now? Like, that's literally what I keep asking myself, scene after scene, chapter after chapter, page after page. But I can't lie, you're looking for entertainment, this book is it. Just 3 stars, 5 out of 5. Yeah. Can everybody read this book? I have to say it's R-rated for sure. I have to let you guys know this book have a lot in it. So definitely R-rated, but wow, blown away. I can't wait to read more books from her. Like, that's how action drama filled it was, and I felt bad for him in the end, But from time he said he trying to get with his wife's sister, I was like, sir, what are we doing? Like, who does this? I mean, people do stuff that's low down and dirty, but for his wife to have set that up, I was like, why? Because he make her sign a prenup like 24 hours before the wedding. Now, granted, I feel like that's a little ridiculous, but come on, like, you went through all of this just for that. It's like, just leave. Why would you even stay? Anyways, so yes, and that is book 18, The Marriage Past by Brianna Cole. Whoa. Next we have Digging Up Love by Chandra Bloomberg. This is book 19. This was a cute rom-com story that started when fossils were discovered in this lady's yard, and it just turned into this big thing. I listened to it on Audible. This is a Kindle Unlimited read /listen. It was entertaining. It's something good to listen to while I wash up, clean the house, do like laundry at work, or folding at work, stuff like that. I was able to listen, which is driving. It was just really good. But it was good. But it just didn't do much for me. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. I could listen, but I wouldn't normally gravitate to something like this. I just specifically I love finding books that I could listen to for free. That's like our time, because you can always have moments where you can't have the book and just be like flipping through the pages because you're doing stuff. So it's always nice. So I was really nice. It was nice to be able to listen to it. Yeah, definitely not my favorite book for the month, but it was good. Next, this book I feel like is my favorite book that I read this month. Between these two, because these books are so good. So next is book number 20, The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. Mia Sosa, I read one book from her. I forget what it was name. I had read it last year around Memorial Weekend time, and it was really good. And I just this is I think my favorite read this month, because my PSA at the top of my review is you will fall in love with this book. That's my PSA. Like, I fell in love with this book and the author. I read from her before, but I didn't feel like how I felt for this book. Like, phenomenal. So look, see, I said this book is a perfect rom-com. I really love the story. That the story was so relatable and it gave me all the feels. The story of Solange and Dean from the beginning was just so funny, because she crashed his wedding. Like, she heard his bride to be speaking to somebody, saying something about she like in love with him, and she was crying, and is like, but I ain't your husband to be. So what are you doing? So she basically says, hey, I have to stop this because she don't want to marry you. And it goes from there, where he now needs her to woo his bosses. Well, his boss, he pretends to be in a relationship with somebody. Once again, doesn't know who this person is, just so that he could woo somebody that they were trying to take on, because he's a lawyer. And Solange said after she crashed your wedding, I owe you one, because I crashed your wedding. So here it is. So she repaid her debt, and then they end up in this full-blown love, and it was just so beautiful. Like, amazing read. Could everybody read this book? Absolutely. Definitely rated R, so be prepared. But I recommend, like, highly recommend. I love this book. Hands down, my favorite April read. Hands down, hands down. I haven't read any other book that did what this book did to me. And I really like the next one a lot, so you're going to hear about that right now. But phenomenal. Just Read stars, 5 out of 5. Loved it. Next, we have The Close-Up by Sarah Smith. So this book I really loved also. It's definitely in the running for, well, I think it's my favorite Sarah Smith book thus far that she's written, that I've read, which I've read pretty much all of her books. I think maybe 1 or 2 books from her I haven't read. I think only 1, but it was just so cute. Like, the perfect, well, I said about the other book, right? The perfect rom-com, but it was just a workplace romance, and I love workplace romances because I met my husband. I met my husband in the workplace. You know, we were both working at the gym together, and that's where we met. And shortly after that, we were together, so it was amazing. Like, it's just so cute. It's definitely a spicy read. The perfect rom-com. Definitely impressed, just thoroughly. You know, so he was a therapist. It's Naomi, and I can't remember his name. Naomi, and I don't really remember his name, but Naomi and Simon. So he's a therapist, and he goes on and gives like relationship advice and tells people how they could be better. This is another one I rated R. But he tells people like how they could better be in relationships, men specifically, because they usually don't want to do the most dirt, right? And she's filming him because her job, he's hot now, so he's popping. So she's like, we need to do a series. She's a journalist, so her boss is like, we need to do a series with this guy. Go ahead and do it. I want you on him. So they start filming. They obviously feel chemistry because they met a night in a bar when she was drunk, and it almost ended up being more, but she vomited on him. So obviously that's a big downer. So it didn't work out, but yeah, so they still have the chemistry. He wants to be with her. She's like torn because she's gotten involved with people that she worked with, and it didn't work out, and you know, all these different feelings. So she tried her best to run from her feelings, but it worked out in the end. So beautiful read, 5 out of 5 stars for sure. Next is book number 22. Crybaby Murder by Mary Monroe. This book was another really good one. A shocker because I thought this was Mary Monroe that I just spoke about. let's just say Black Mary Monroe and this is White Mary Monroe. So I didn't find out the author was who this author was until the end of the book when her picture showed up, like when I went to review it. And I was like, wait a minute, who's this? So apparently she has the same name as a Mary Monroe that I'm used to reading. So when I see she had a release, I'm like, Mary Monroe, how she just released a book and I didn't know? Like I got this alert like late in the month and I'm like, wait, I supposed to know. Like I looked these authors up. Remember I told you guys I have a whole to be read list. I know when authors release them books, I'm putting it in my to be read and I'm buying them when they come out, when they release or pre-ordering some of them, right? So when this book come out, I was like, what is going on? Why wasn't I alerted sooner? Or they didn't even look it up and know, right? So it's because it's another author. That's why. But it was a really good book. Like it was basically it was about this baby formula company that had like real breast milk mixed with what do you call it? Like not cereal milk, but like container powder, right? So it ends up being detrimental to the kids' health. And he is like, my company is not going down because you think that this is going to be that. No, it's already set to become out. We're spending all this money in advertising. It's going down. So he was killing the people that were trying to come out to speak about it or figuring out that your product is killing people. You know, and it was so sad because this one mother lost one of her twins because of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's heartbreaking. To lose a twin, like for your twin to lose a twin, but for you to lose a child is like heartbreaking. So that was the first death, and then it goes into him just murdering people that find out and want to try stop him. A mystery that I don't usually read. If you know me, you know I'm down for the biographies, the rom-coms. I rarely ever read a mystery if I've ever read one on here. Since I've been doing videos, I've read a couple like on my page, but none since I've started doing reviews, videos. And I was blown away. I just enjoyed every bit of it, and it had a hint of romance. So you know that always is a big deal for me. But it just was great. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. My likes was I liked the concept and the thrill of the mystery. Just a really good book. So Mary Monroe, my first, but definitely not my last. Okay, so definitely check this book out. It was a good one. Also, if you haven't already, because there are some thrill seekers, definitely took me on a ride. I would definitely recommend this book. Yes. Just Read Stars, 5 out of 5. It kept me entertained. Book number 23, The Bounce Back by Addie Woolridge. So this is another Kindle Unlimited listen, which was great for me because, like I said, it's another opportunity to read, you know, while I can't really read. So I was listening to this one. It was a good book. I enjoyed it. We were able to meet We were able to meet Neil, which is Dylan's little sister, who we met in the checklist. I really enjoyed the book, The Checklist. I enjoyed it more than this one. I think this one was a little too much protagonist, antagonist, being that her family was just dogging her down all the time. So she was an artist that kind of lost her touch and, you know, set her last exhibit on fire. You know, this one of her annoying, mean co-workers took a video and put it online, and she just kind of was like, I just need to be out of here. Like, they fired her, and she was like, I don't want to have anything to do with art again. So it's kind of her bouncing back and finding herself. So a woman's fiction / romance, which was good because Anthony was her love interest, and I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it. I would say really. I just really didn't like the dogging of her family. Her family was so hard on her about making it and about finding herself and about doing better. And I didn't feel she was doing that bad. You know, so that was the only thing. But I really enjoyed her finding her confidence and her bouncing back and living and being great. So that was good. So that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. But this author is really good. So check her out also, Addie Woolridge. And on to the last book, one of my favorite authors, Sanjay Patel. Sanjay Patel is the name of the book is My Sister's Big Fat Indian Wedding. Sanjay Patel is one of the other authors that like I just adore, and you can't put her books down. Like, she writes about real things, a lot of Indian culture. Like, I just love when authors write about stuff they know about, which is so beautiful. And the wedding and the whole week of plans that they have to do, the preparation down to the wedding and the different looks and the clothes, and she had the colors and everything you could visualize. I just love a good author. That's really what a good author does. puts all those images on paper. So you're reading it, but you're seeing it. And that's the beauty of reading, and imagination. So it's about Maitri, and I think Maitri and Pranit, the bride and groom, but essentially it's really about Zuri, the little sister to the bride. And it's just a beautiful story, once again, of music. She's a violinist trying to get a scholarship to go to college, and she does such a phenomenal job in playing. In trying to gain the scholarship. She chooses family when she has to run back to her traditional wedding, her traditional wedding plans. Like, she has to go back and be there with the family. They took that stuff so seriously, and she's from a traditional Indian family, so they're like, no, you're going to law school like your two older sisters. You are not going to be a violinist. You're going to school for music. No, no, no. What kind of life you can have in that? There's no stability. No. So she kind of fights her way through that, while her competition being Naveen, the cousin of the groom. So she have to walk down the aisle with somebody that she competing with, and she finding that out the day of the audition while she's sitting there. So it was just a really good book. It kept me entertained because it had a little bit of the drama in it, the action. It was just a really good read. Like I said, with Sanju Patel, she know what the assignment is, and she gonna do it every single time. So I don't know what I gonna get from her, but I just know it will always be something good. My likes was definitely the element of music. I love classical, jazz, that. So you guys know that. I think you know that by now, because whenever there's elements of music in a book, I'm just so appreciative. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this book. Could everybody read this book? Absolutely. Would I recommend? Absolutely. Just 3 stars, 5 out of 5. You guys know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share, and meet me in the comments. I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles!